In this example, we need to solve the equations shown. So first, we'll start with part A. We have x squared minus 2x minus 15 equal 0. So we find two values for the term in the middle that can give us minus 2. So in this scenario, we select plus 3 and minus 5, which will give us minus 2. And for the third term, we have also plus 3 multiplied. So in these two, they'll be added, and these two will be multiplied by each other. This will be minus 5. So to complete the square, we would have x plus 3, and we have also x minus 5 equal 0. So to simplify this expression, first we will equate the first bracket to 0. So that will give us x plus 3 equal 0, so that will give us x equal minus 3, and then we will equate the second bracket to 0, so that will be x minus 5 equals 0, so that will be x equal 5, and these will be our two values for this expression in terms of the x values for this expression, which is minus 3 and 5. For part B, we have x squared equal 9x. So first we will rearrange the expression, so equate it to 0, so that will be x squared minus 9x equal 0. So in this scenario, we can take a common factor, which is x, and we would have x minus 9 equal to 0. So in this scenario, we will equate both terms to 0. So first we will have x equal to 0, and we would have x minus 9 equal to 0, so that will give us x equal 9. So our values for x will be 0 and 9. In this example, we have the expressions shown, and we'll need to solve them. First, we look at 6x squared plus 13x minus 5 equal 0. So first, we'll try to find a value two numbers that will give us plus 13. So in this scenario, we can use and two values that will give us minus 5. So we also need to think about the two values that will give us 6, and it will need to be positive. So in this case, we use 3 and 2 multiplied by each other. The 13, it will be a combination of two numbers, which is minus 1 and also plus 5. And these two taken away and added to each other. I'll show you shortly. And also the minus 5 will be the combination of minus 1 and also plus 5. So these two, we are using the same number for the second and the third term. So in this scenario, we would have the 3x minus 1, and we also have 2x plus 5 equal to 0. So if we multiply these two brackets, will give us the original expression. So now we will equate each bracket to 0. So 3x, so we'll say either 3x minus 1 equal to 0. So that means 3x equal 1, and that will give us x equal a third. So that's the first value of x. Or we would have 2x plus 5 equal to 0. So that will be 2x equal minus 5, and that will give us x equal minus 5 over 2. And this will be our second value for x. For part D, we have x squared minus 5x plus 18 equal 2 plus 3x. So first we will try to simplify the expression in such a way where the numbers are moved to one side. So we will try to move the right hand side to the left hand side, so that will give us x squared minus 5x, and we have also minus 3x plus 18 minus 2 equal to 0. So that will give us, in terms of the next step, will be x squared minus 8x plus 16 equal to 0. And now we can complete the square. So for the middle and the second and the third term, so we can use minus 4 and minus 4 for the middle, and for the multiplied, that will be also minus 4 by minus 4. That will give us plus 16. So we can use x minus 4 and x minus 4 equal 0. So that will tell us we equate each bracket to 0. So we have either x minus 4 equal 0, so that will be x equal 4, or x minus 4 equal 0, and that will tell us that x equal 4. So we will notice for both brackets we have the answer is 4, so that will tell us that both values, we have a repeated root here, which is x is 4, and this will be our answer for this question. In this example, we need to solve the expression shown, so we'll start with part A. So we have 2x minus 3 in between brackets squared equal 25. So first we take the root, so we say square root both sides, so that will give us 2x minus 3, and on the other side we will have plus minus 5. So now we will move the plus minus to one side. So first we would have, if we take the plus 5, so that will give us 2x minus 3 equal plus 5, so that will give us 2x equal plus 5, and we move the minus 3 to the other side, so that will give us plus 3, and that will give us 2x equal 8, and then that will give us x equal 8 over 2, so that will give us x equal to 4. Or, so that would be the first part, so we can say either here, and these are the steps, or we have 2x minus 3 equal minus 5, so that will give us 2x equal minus 5 plus 3, so that will give us 2x equal minus 2, so that will give us x equal minus 2 over 2, and that will give us minus 1 as the answer for x. And this, so in this scenario we have two values for x, which is 4 and minus 1. In this example we have the expression of x minus 3 squared equal 7. So first we take the square root of both sides, so we say square root both sides, and that will give us x minus 3 equal plus minus root of 7. So first we take the positive, so we say either x minus 3 equal plus root 7, so that will give us x equal 3 plus root 7, so that will be the first value of x, or x minus 3 equal minus root 7, so that will give us x equal 3 minus root 7. So the values will be either 3 plus root 7 or 3 minus root 7, and these are the values for x. In this example we need to solve the equations shown. So first we'll start with x squared plus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. So first we find two values that can give us plus 3 and two values that can give us plus 2. So these values are plus 1, where we add them or take them away, and plus 2, and we have the two values that multiplied by each other will give us plus 2, so that will be again plus 1 and plus 2. So to complete the square, the first bracket we would have x plus 1, and the second bracket would be x plus 2 equal 0. So we'd have either, we equate the first bracket to 0, so that would be x plus 1 equal 0, so x will be minus 1, that's the first value of x, or when x plus 2 equals 0, we would have x equal minus 2, which is the second value for x. For part B, we're looking at x squared plus 5x plus 4 equal 0. So first we find two values that we can add or take away that can give us plus 5, so that would be plus 1 and plus 4, and two values that we can multiply by each other will give us plus 4. Again, that's plus 1 and plus 4. So in this case, added or taken away. So that to complete the square, we would have x plus 1 for the first bracket, and the second bracket would be x plus 4 equal to 0. So now we equate each bracket to 0. So we would have either x plus 1 equals 0. So that will give us x equal minus 1. So that's the first bracket of the first value of x, or x plus 4 equal to 0. So we would have the second value of x being minus 4. And these are the two values for this expression. In this example, we have the expressions shown, and we need to factorize them and find the values. So we'll start with x squared plus 7x plus 10 equal 0. So first we find two values that we can add or take away that will give us plus 7. So that's plus 2 and plus 5. So we say plus or take away. And we have also two values that we can multiply will give us plus 10. So again, plus 2 and plus 5. These two are multiplied by each other. So the brackets will be x plus 2 and x plus 5, and we completely factorize them, and we will equate each bracket to 0 to find the values of x. So we'll have either x plus 2 equals 0, so that will give us x equal minus 2, or we have x plus 5 equal to 0, so that will give us the second value of x being minus 5. So the values of x will be minus 2 and minus 5. For part D, we have x squared minus x minus 6 equal 0. So first we find two values that we can add or take away that will give us minus 1. So these two will be minus 3 and plus 2, so plus or take away. And the second will be two values, again there will be minus 3 and plus 2, the same values, but this time they multiplied by each other. So the brackets will be x minus 3, and also we have x plus 2 equal to 0. So first we equate one of the brackets to 0, so that will be x minus 3 equal to 0. So that will give us the first value of x being 3. Or we equate the second bracket to 0, so that's x plus 2 equal to 0. And we would have x being equivalent to minus 2, which is the second value of x.